Hey folks, this is Kalani. Patch 12.1 is finally here, and it introduces a bunch of new content for us to explore, but a lot of that content is locked behind specific quest lines, and some of it requires you to loot special items. There are a few gear rewards you will want to pick up early to help speed up your progression, there are some quests you definitely won't want to miss, and only certain activities are actually worth doing in this first week if your main priority is gearing up. So let's go over everything you should do first in patch 12.1 to maximize your time and progress a bit faster. Now before we jump in, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. When you first log in on patch day, you should get a quest pop-up called Return to Amani Zar. This is the new story campaign for patch 12.1, and this quest will point you towards the start of the second chapter. The story quests are required to unlock the new zone and many of its activities, so I would highly recommend you complete as much of the story campaign as you can before venturing out into other content. If you don't get a quest pop-up when you first log in, double check your chapter progress for the current campaign. If you haven't already finished chapter 1 of the Curse of Ulatek, you're a little behind. You'll need to look for the quest Hagar's Invitation in the middle of Silvermoon and work through those quests before you can move on to the new 12.1 quests. Work your way through the story quests until you arrive on the Coiled Isle at Tokka's Landing. This is the new quest hub for the patch and zone. Now before you move on with the story quests, make sure to grab the flight path for this new hub. It will help you get around the zone better later on, it gives you a lazy option for flying back here for future quests, and it helps your ults get over to the zone early on as well. I would also recommend you set your Hearthstone here, as you'll be doing a lot of back and forth between the Coiled Isle and Silvermoon, and it can take quite a while if you have to fly back and forth each time. The flight path is also incredibly long for some reason. It feels like it takes forever, so until you unlock the portal between Silvermoon and the Coiled Isle next week, I would suggest setting your Hearthstone here. You can always use the Key to the Argentina as a stand-in Hearthstone back to Silvermoon for the time being, so you have a quick travel option for both major locations in this patch. From this point on, I would keep working through the main story until you're asked to complete the new dungeon, the Altar of Fangs. The first part of this quest requires you to venture down into the vaults of Italutek, and you can do this by taking one of the 3 passageways marked on your map. You won't be able to fly down in the vaults, but you are given a nice speed boost to get through the passageways much faster. When you get down into the vaults, you'll find an important quest to pick up which introduces the vault and what content you can do down here. I would pick it up, but complete it after your dungeon quest, mainly because that's the last story quest you can do right now, so it feels really clean getting it out of the way, but also because not everyone needs to take part in the vault's content. Make sure you pick up the flight path before leaving to make getting back down here a bit easier, and it gives you that lazy travel option if you want to take a break sometime. Completing the dungeon story quest will unlock world quests for the Coiled Isle, which opens up a few more activities for you to complete. This is where the story will likely stop for the first week, as the next quest requires you to clear the raid, and that's not going to be available until the start of Season 2. Getting through the story quests will reward you with a big chunk of reputation with the new Zul'Jara's Forces faction, and as you work through that renown track, you can pick up a piece of veteran gear for a very easy gear upgrade, open world content becomes more and more rewarding, and you can earn extra corrosive souls to unlock additional power in the Altar of Corrosion, which we'll learn about very shortly. This would be a good time to head back down into the vaults and unlock the content on offer here, especially if you are a solo content focused player. The initial quest, Into the Vaults of Italutek, shows you how to get around the zone and how to make use of the Windcaller buffs to avoid monsters if you want to. This quest also leads straight into unlocking the Altar of Corrosion, which can be used to unlock new powers in the Coiled Isle zone. You'll be given enough corrosive coins to get your first talent point for free, so make sure you unlock that right away. As you earn more corrosive coins, I would spend them in here as a priority to unlock things like reduced damage from the venom pools, and you'll eventually unlock bonuses to your corrosive coin earnings, so unlocking talents will help you earn coins much faster in the future. After that, you can pick up the other quests from the War Leader. The Vaults of Atalutech, a toxic tour, is your main introduction to the events in this zone. Curiously, on the PTR, we can pick up that first intro quest and the Purging the Vaults weekly quest at the same time, even though they're basically the same quest with the exact same rewards. If you're able to do both of those quests, I would definitely recommend it. That would secure you a piece of champion gear right away after you combine your Venom Cursed fragments together. I would recommend picking up any other daily quests available in the hub before you head out, as well as you'll be able to complete those at the same time. Now, I will say most of this content is for solo players specifically, so you might want to skip over it if you mainly focus on raids or dungeons. With that being said, if you're going to be clearing delves at all, I would at least unlock the Altar of Corrosion and the Corrosive Codex. Those powers might not work in dungeons or raids, but they do work in delves, so you can still benefit from them, and they should help make your tier 8 or 11 delve clears much easier. Both of these features also unlock across your entire account, and the progress is shared, so after you've unlocked it once, all of your other characters will have access to the same talents and powers, which make it totally worth doing at least once. To unlock the Corrosive Codex, you just need to earn a Corrosive Soul from any source. The most immediate source would be the Vaults of Atalutech weekly quests, but these do drop from delves, prey hunts, lair bosses, and quite a few other content options, so you don't have to do the Vaults quests if you don't want to. Take that soul back to the Altar of Corrosion, and you'll unlock the Corrosive Codex, which lets you spend Corrosive Souls to unlock special effects and powers. The quest hand-in also gives you 8 souls right away, so you can unlock your first power more or less for free. All of these power unlocks are account-wide, so you'll be able to use them on any of your characters. After that's all squared away, you can start working on other content, but before you jump into the deep end, I would return to Silvermoon and pick up the important weekly quests from Liadrin and Verisa. The Unity Against the Void weekly quest still gives you a few choices for what content you want to do to complete it, while the Trailing Xalatath weekly quest just requires you to collect an item from various types of endgame content. Both of these quests can reward your weekly Spark of Tides if you haven't got one in that week already, and these sparks will be just as important as they have been in previous seasons if you're interested in getting some huge gear upgrades early on. Both of these quests also reward you with a pinnacle cache, which can contain gear, crests, and other currencies, and they both reward items that unlock new campsites when you get 4 of them, so chances are you'll probably want to complete both of these quests every week for at least 4 weeks. Now, there is one other quest that can reward you with a Spark of Tides. Turn Back the Surge can be picked up on the Coiled Isle, and it requires you to complete 3 Curse Surge events. You can do that quest as well if you're interested in the events or the new zone in general, but the rewards from Curse Surges aren't that great until you've unlocked a few bonuses in the new Renown track, so it seems more efficient to me to complete one of the other quests for your weekly Spark of Tides, but the choice is ultimately up to you. Something else that's definitely worth doing is popping by the old Renown vendor for each of the 4 original Midnight factions. If you played at the start of Midnight or during Season 1, you probably remember the easy champion gear these factions were offering. Well, in the new patch, they're offering those pieces of gear again, but this time they'll be Season 2 veteran gear. That's not quite as cool as free champion gear, but with veteran gear capping out at item level 295, these items should be a big upgrade for most players, and they're practically free. All you have to do is complete the weekly event tied to the faction zone. Do that for each faction, and you'll have 4 pieces of veteran gear right off the bat. Don't forget to pick up your piece of veteran gear from the Zul'Jara's Forces faction on the Coiled Isle as well. Working through the story quests will have shot you way past the rank 2 requirement for that item. You'll have to complete a Curse Surge event to earn your braces, but those events are typically very quick. Getting this done will set you up with 5 pieces of veteran gear before you even really do anything. At this point, it's kind of up to you with where you want to go next and what content you like to take part in. All tiers or difficulties of delves are open in this first week, but the actual rewards are quite restricted. You basically can't get many good gear or crest rewards from delves until the season starts, but you can start unlocking the higher tiers of delves, so you're ready to jump into them next week. You should aim to get at least tier 8 delves unlocked, as that's where the gear rewards cap out, which will let you farm champion gear very easily, and you should be able to pick up a piece of hero track gear by using a Trove Hunter's Bounty map. The new Nemesis delve will also be available on the lower difficulty, which is useful for two reasons. First, it lets you practice the fight if you're going to try and kill the Nemesis all by yourself on the higher difficulty in the first week of the season to get the Fabled achievement, and then if you defeat the Nemesis on the lower difficulty, even if you do it as part of a group, you'll earn 30 hero crests that do not count towards your weekly cap, so it's definitely worth doing. The Lair Boss is available on the world difficulty but nothing higher, so you can jump in there to see what it's all about, learn the fight a bit, and potentially earn some more veteran gear for your troubles. If you're a fan of fishing and side quests, you can talk to Captain Tocker at the new quest hub to start learning how to fish in cursed waters. Captain Tocker and his crew are their own mini-faction with its own reputation grind, and a bunch of extra rewards including a very interesting new fishing rod. You can check out the arena training grounds if you've ever wanted to jump into arenas but you were worried about going up against actual players. These training grounds have you facing off against bots, which should make it easier to learn the ropes and actually win a few arenas before you decide if you want to jump in with real players. The patch also introduces most of the big housing updates, so if you're interested in that system, don't forget to check it out. You can save and import blueprints to keep your creations safe, which allow you to tinker about with new decor options without losing all of your hard work. You can place pet beds and have your favourite pets roam around your house or just sit quietly wherever you plop them down. And there are some new artisanal rooms to pick up if you have enough community coupons. Some of these rooms are actually really cool, so they may help spark some creativity if you've been struggling with the housing system thus far. Don't forget to pick up the Housing Weekly Quest in Silvermoon to earn some easy hero crests as well as some extra community coupons. At this point, you can start working on the rest of your gear and preparing for Season 2 of Midnight. The highest item level gear you can obtain in this first week is Champion gear from Mythic Zero Dungeons, but no matter what you decide to do, I would try to fill up your vault as much as you can. We won't be able to pick up a bonus roll in the first week of the season, so you'll mainly be hoping for a piece of tier gear to help get your 4 set as quickly as possible. The best way to increase your chances of getting a piece of tier gear next week is to fill out as many vault slots as you can. Something else you should definitely make sure you do before the season starts up next week is complete the Omnium Folio if you haven't already. If you ignored this feature throughout 1207, or you're just coming back to the game after a break, I would get this done before Season 2 begins. The bonuses will remain active throughout Season 2 and beyond, and it's just free damage or healing that you'll be missing if you don't have all the talent points unlocked. So pop by the Magister's Missive in Silvermoon to pick up the quest if you haven't started any of this already, or check your map for a purple quest at the Magister's Terrace if you're part way through. But that's everything we would recommend doing first in patch 12.1, so that's it for this video. What features and systems will you be spending most of your time on in the new patch, and what are you most looking forward to in Season 2? Leave all your thoughts in the comments section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to all of our members here on YouTube. You can see their names on screen. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can find links in the description, or click the join button just below the video. If you enjoyed the video or found it useful in any way, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you're always kept up to date. Thanks for watching, folks. Good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.